I believe there's two ways to negotiate: win-win or win-lose. From which perspective do you currently operate? Win-lose negotiating sees the participants as adversaries. Tactics include exerting power and using subterfuge. There's a lot of mistrust, tension, and suspicion. The win-lose negotiator's goal is to win. There are usually hard feelings on somebody's part, typically the loser. The focus is on single positions. This is what I want. It's hardball negotiating. On the other hand, the win-win negotiator sees the participants as problem solvers looking for a mutually satisfactory solution. It's a process that both parties can walk away from and feel comfortable that neither one was had. It relies on trust, openness, credibility, and honesty. The goal is a wise and fair outcome for all parties. The focus is on multiple options. There are many ways to satisfy both parties' needs, not just one. Everybody should have a negotiating philosophy. Many people enter important negotiations without having a clear idea of what they would like to accomplish. A negotiating philosophy could be that you want to go for low price, or you might be willing to pay going rates, but you want to get as many additional amenities as possible. Here's my personal negotiating philosophy. When two people want to do business together, they will not let the details stand in the way. However, when two people do not want to do business with each other, the details will rarely pull the deal together. If somebody wants to do business with you, he or she is more apt to compromise and less apt to seek unreasonable compromises from you. Here are several specific actions that you can take during win-win negotiating. First, develop a negotiation strategy that clearly spells out what you will and what you won't do during negotiations. Second, collect as much background information as possible beforehand on the people and the companies that you'll be facing in the negotiation process. Third, evaluate your competitive exposure. What are the odds that another supplier or whatever, another company, will come up with a better offer than the one that you're making? This information can help establish your maximums and your minimums. Fourth, prepare and role play with colleagues prior to your initial negotiation meeting. It provides you with confidence in facing questions and situations that you are now prepared to handle. Fifth, make sure that your clothing, your grooming, your materials, your handouts, your preparation, and your depth of knowledge project credibility, authority, and strength. This is where you start creating the confidence factor, because people do judge books by their cover. People will not negotiate seriously with you if they don't believe you have the power and the credibility and the authority to make decisions. Sixth, tailor your pace and presentation to the individual differences of the other people. Be flexible in your approach with the differences in people. It will reduce relationship tension and subsequently increase interpersonal trust, credibility, cooperation, and productivity. Seventh, take time to study all dimensions of the other person's current situation. Ask questions and listen with your ears and your eyes. Try to determine the end results the other person is attempting to accomplish, not solely focusing on their position or demands. However, It would be important to find out the decision-making criteria. In other words, the must-haves versus the should-haves versus the nice-to-haves of the other person. This will provide you with his or her negotiation limits. Eighth, when presenting your desires and demands, try to relate them to the end results the other person is attempting to achieve. Show how your requests will also benefit the other person. Ninth, negotiate the points of difference. Do not always go for low price, unless that's your negotiating philosophy. Look for other points to negotiate. 10th, do not attack the other person's position or their specific demands. Look behind them for their objectives and end results. 11th, do not defend your position. Invite criticism and advice. For instance, what would you do if you were in my position? 12th, at the conclusion of your negotiations, make sure that all parties fully and clearly understand who is to do what, when, where, how, and why. By following these suggestions and these strategies, you should significantly improve the outcomes that you generate from your negotiations. Furthermore, your counterparts in the negotiation process will feel much better about you, the process, and their outcomes. Together, you'll both feel that a fair position was reached and that was in the best interest of both sides. In other words, a win-win outcome.